peeps, it's me, D. You're watching DCTV. Before we get started, I want to make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know you're here. How are you all doing? I'm doing pretty good this afternoon. Girl, what is time? I'm doing pretty good though. So what we're going to be doing today is a sip and see. And for those of you who don't know what a sip and see is, it's when we all come together, we grab a drink, adult beverage or not, we watch something like a TV show or a movie, and we sip and we kiki and we just have a good time here. So go on and grab what you're gonna sip. I'll let you know today I'm sipping a gin and juice. Sipping on gin and juice. I'm probably gonna delete that, y'all. But sipping gin and juice today. And what are we gonna be sipping and seeing? It's gonna be Real Housewives of Potomac, season 5, episode 6, titled The Text Heard Round the Lakehouse. This episode picks up where the last one left off, which is Wendy and Ashley going at it. Wendy is telling Ashley to refer to her as Dr. Wendy because that's where she places her. Karen is calling Wendy crazy, saying that she's overreacting. She's probably just tagging on because she already got a problem with Wendy. Candice starts singing to break the tension. Singing is a thing with Candice. This episode, we'll get back to that. And Monique calls Wendy another Candice, saying that Wendy will not take accountability for her actions and she just talks. But, you know, like I said, make of it what you will. Feel like Wendy was justified or wasn't justified. But I feel like where she's at in the conflict makes sense based on how she's feeling and the fact that no one's really in her corner in this situation. Wendy and Ashley are still going at a child. Wendy calls Ashley a broke bug. And I don't know if Ashley is broke. I don't know if Michael's her sugar daddy or whatever their arrangement is. But it was funny when she said it. Maybe she was saying Invader Zim look broke. I don't know. But she threw it and Ashley caught it. Finally, they see like this back and forth is going nowhere and the conflict starts to die down. Meanwhile, the chef is on the sidelines like, dang, I just wanted to get a good check and maybe some press and promotion, but y'all is going back and forth and I need to exit. I need to leave the Lakehouse so I can get some reception and make sure that that invoice comes through the email on time. So he makes his hasty retreat and they just wrap up dinner from there. So back in their rooms, Candice and Wendy are in their finest satin bonnets and they're breaking down what happened that evening. Wendy is again saying she just feels that she should be validated as a new mother as well, especially because her daughter was in NICU for quite a while. I guess there was some complications with the delivery and she just feels like that is why she's more sensitive to the fact that she's away from her and she had to do all this preparation to make sure she would be okay, including pumping while she was away. And so Candice is just saying, you know, you feel how you feel, like let's start over fresh tomorrow. Tomorrow's a new day. Hopefully everyone can be on the same accord and things won't linger on. So we get to the second day at the Lakehouse. Monique has gotten everyone their own monogrammed robes, which I think is really cute for a little like girly get together type of vibe. So everyone complies, they wear their robes and they come down to have breakfast together. And so while they're about to prepare breakfast, Giselle and Monique decide to have a pancake off to see who is the best at flipping them flapjacks. They also talk about how their relationship has improved very much so since previous seasons and how they kind of are happy that they have this kind of fun and playful yet competitive dynamic. Meanwhile, Ashley is upstairs with baby Dean and she is trying to reach Michael. Michael is not picking up and it looked like she didn't expect him to pick up at all. She even says like, I'm just, you know, me being away with baby Dean is nothing new for me because I'm used to him not being around. I guess he stays really busy at work or whatever he's busy with when he's not at work. Now I'm starting to think, does Invader Zim and Michael have an arranged marriage? Because it just seems like she might be hip to his game, but she might not be as bothered as she might want people to think she would be. So I'm getting arranged marriage teas for them. Y'all let me know if y'all have some information about their situation. They fast forward in the episode to 12 hours later, where we see Candice is getting a text from someone, and they're talking about Invader Zim's husband, Michael, has been spotted at the local strip club. They say he is around several strippers, y'all, and he's talking about how he got a wife and he got a boyfriend on the side. Like, messy. Boyfriend on the side? Is this new or is this OT? And it looks like they got some photo evidence of Mr. Michael at this strip club. So what's going on? So back to the pancake off between Giselle and Monique. Giselle's pancakes are looking very frumpled and rumpled, kind of mimicking her fashions. Monique's pancakes look good. Giselle says they taste and look like olive oil, and I don't know about putting olive oil in a pancake. You mixing savory and sweet, Monique? Like, I don't know where you get that from. Where is Monique from where you put olive oil? You put a butter, maybe some vegetable oil, put a canola oil. That's a little better. But olive oil? Like, what is this Italian blended ass pancake you're trying to make? So in the competition, Giselle ends up winning overall in taste. Taste. Could have been me. But you know, they talking about food taste, not other taste. So we're good. But the appearance was a no. And Candice ends up winning overall in appearance, but not in taste. So they tally who wins the overall pancake off. And the winner by a small margin is Monique. So I guess some people think an olive oil pancake is good just because it looks pretty. Hard pass. I guess I'll take Giselle's tacky pancakes. Then they get to Monique. She's talking about how the husbands are going to be arriving tomorrow, and she would like her husband to do a little fishing, do a little cooking, like make it very homely. But Chris is not having it. He's like a hard pass. We're going to get things catered, and kind of that is what it is. And Monique seemed like she's not happy with that response. It seems like it's her birthday weekend. She kind of expected him to put in a little more effort for her, but at the same time she doesn't want to rock the boat, so she kind of just lets it go, which makes me kind of circle back to that whole alleged personal trainer incident. Does she swallow her tongue now because she's trying to gloss things over, and she's kind of in the doghouse and she don't want to make no more waves, so she gonna let him be freaking, you know, typical traditional husband and do what he wants and not really care? Is this some kind of fallback from that, Monique? That's why you staying shush, and this is why you just complain to T'Challa? Dang, I don't know if this is a setup that will work for me. I might just have to bite whatever the personal trainer fed me. So in the next scene, we have Giselle and Wendy taking a walk together. Giselle is talking to Wendy about the whole fallout the night before. She's saying that she doesn't feel Wendy made a really good impression with the girls, and Giselle is taking out the opportunity to try to get to know Wendy and kind of get to know her intentions a little deeper. So yet again, Wendy states that she felt some type of way because she felt if Ashley was allowed to bring her newborn son, she should have been allowed to bring her newborn baby. We get it. She feels like the baby should have been there. She's not there. We got to get over this because I'm over it. Then Giselle tries to throw in a little messy curve as usual and says, I don't know why you're just so focused on being that mad at this Ashley and baby Dean situation. What you should really be mad about is Karen and all the shade she's been throwing about you behind your back. Apparently, Karen has been name calling Wendy, calling her a floozy freelancer. I guess she's saying her credentials ain't worth much. But again, Wendy has to counter it with going down and rolling down that old resume and rolling down all those degrees. Now, again, I am feeling Wendy and her accomplishments and her education, but we gonna have to have a better rebuttal than, you know, just I got some letters behind my name. We gotta have some more comebacks, Wendy. I'm still with you, but you know, you only got one more of those letter rollouts before I kind of move on. So where are we at, y'all? This episode was whatever. I'm gonna get to where we were at next. So in the next scene, Monique is taking the girls out to go canoeing and to go fishing. Nobody is enthused, namely Giselle. She is not looking forward to it at all, probably because she's scared that if she was in that canoe and it accidentally tipped over, all that pound of makeup she wears would just run off and we would get to see the real, and she's just not ready for that life. She's not ready, y'all. So she's not getting in that canoe. So some of the girls are staying on shore and Monique is teaching them how to hook the lines with worms so that they can fish. And you know, I'm not mad that they weren't into it. I wouldn't be into it either. Like I'm an aesthetic person. I want to look at the pretty lake. Maybe I get on a little canoe and, you know, do a little lap, but I just want to sit back with a nice drink and just take in the scene. I'm not trying to fish for dinner. Like, no, bring the chef back. He can do that for me because I'm not putting no worm on no line. I'm not doing it. But Monique seems like she is Miss Grizzly Adams outdoorsies, and it's her birthday, so I guess they're like, okay, we're gonna try to enjoy this, but I'd rather just be, you know, sunbathing with a good cocktail. So Monique is out in her canoe, just one with nature, loving life, loving her birthday weekend. And Candice and Robin are in another canoe, look like they're 2 seconds away from going under. So quickly I'll go through this because I don't care. Wendy does end up talking to Ashley and she acknowledges her tone again, and Ashley's trying to force an apology again, and I'm over Ashley / Invader Zim trying to invade people's brains and make them apologize over and over. But they kind of move past it. They bond on being new moms and kind of how they've lost themselves, how they're trying to get back to, you know, who they are, just not as a mother only. And then there's tears and I don't care and moving on. Meanwhile, Giselle is still complaining about not having service. And I don't know why. I think your daughters are glad to get a little breath of fresh air from you. And Trash Pastor is probably out having another congregation baby. So definitely ain't thinking about what your bars are looking like. So they cut to Ashley with baby Dean and they finally get a hold of Michael. The producers ask Ashley, how does Michael feel about being kind of put to second place now that she is a new mom and her focus is on Dean? And she says that Michael hates it. So I'm like, why did they have this baby then if he just is looking for the nearest exit and he doesn't like not being first? Was this part of like their prenup? Do they have a prenup? It's like, you got to give me a couple of babies and there is a price point for each one of these. What's the deal with that? So Ashley is asking Michael, how did his business meeting / night out go? And he's kind of vaguely saying it's going good, saying he had some drinks, he had a good time, but we know he had quite a time that he's not letting on yet. Candice is sitting with the girls and she talks about how she feels a lot of the women are good examples for her of how she feels a mother should be, because they love their kids, they're all about their kids, but they're also able to acknowledge that they're not perfect and their parenting is not perfect, and she likes to see that kind of example. At the same time, she still says, I'm still hesitant about me having a whole kid in that situation. I just don't know, because Candice does not want kids right now. I need them to stop trying to force this. I don't care if everybody else has kids and she don't want one. Let her be the housewife that don't have a kid right now. So Monique orders all the ladies food and they're all sitting down having a meal together, but they're all starting to feel like this little Lakehouse weekend getaway is kind of dry, and I see why. Like, they're kind of just sitting down eating and not doing much else. You would think there would be so many type of outdoors things they could do, like hiking or bird watching or playing some kind of like outdoors game, some kind of outdoor activity, getting a boat tour of the lake or something. But they're all just kind of tired of standing around looking at each other, sitting around looking at each other. Monique calls Candice a bird and said, I ain't trying to look at her all day. I guess the only bird she want to talk to is T'Challa. And then the producers start their countdown to captivity in the lake house. Because like, if they are gonna be there, they should have had some activities planned, especially if it's like a celebratory weekend. Every day should have been set up with like different activities, different specific things to do that were related to like being outdoors and being at a lake house, or maybe related to the girls bonding. Like, Monique, you just set up the house and the food and you didn't set up the actual activity. What kind of hostess are you? So then Giselle decides to perk up the environment by suggesting that Ashley and Candice have a pageant off, since they're both previous pageant queens, and whoever wins will be the lady of the lake or the lady of the river or something. But I will say, Giselle, that was a good idea, just to get everyone just a little more roused, get a little more energy going. So in the first round, they have a walk off. So Candice and Ashley give their best pageant work it walks, and I will be my own judge, saying that Candice gave good energy. I think she was channeling Tyra Banks of yesteryear. Ashley gave dry. I was a pageant queen in somewhere in middle America. Candice wins. The next round is the question round, where Candice is asked by Giselle, how does it feel to be so short? And Candice took it all in good stride and talked about, you know, how being vertically challenged is okay, and gave her a really good standard pageant response. Giselle then asked Ashley during question round, how does it feel to have a larger than average forehead? I would have added on of the extraterrestrial type, of the Nicktoon type, but she just made it standard, just larger than average. But then Karen throws it back at Giselle, saying like, child, who are you talking about in terms of appearance or judging anything with your stovepipe legs? And I didn't even know really what she meant by that until I Googled stovepipe, and then I cackled. Good for you, Karen. The third round is the talent section, and for Ashley's talent, she decided to do the most tired, the most tragic, the most sad, the most cringeworthy, the most stiff, the most sorry twerk I have ever seen. I'm like, is that what you did to get Dean? Michael must not need much, girl. For Candice's talent, she decides to sing Happy Birthday to Monique. And I'm not gonna lie, Candice does have a pretty decent voice, but apparently this isn't that impressive, because she has given this same ballad during many seasons for many birthdays, and they give a clip of every time she's done it. So I'm a little with Ashley on this one. Like, I wanted to see, you know, some spontaneous, some, you know, fun, lively talent, not wash, rinse, repeat. I'm saying happy birthday with the same inflection, with the same run 1,000 times. But she does have a voice, so I guess Candice wins this round yet again. So they get to the final judgment of who wins Lady of the Lake, and to no surprise to anyone, Candice won. She did better on most of the rounds. She did not do a struggle twerk, so she won by default. And I think this was a good way for them to just bring some energy to the trip, to get a little comfortable, get a little loose, and liven up the party. So in the next scene, everyone is getting ready to go out for dinner, and they circle back to the scene with Candice, where she is getting a text message about Michael. Apparently Candice has a close friend, and her close friend's friend is a bartender at the strip club that Michael was at. And apparently Michael was in that strip club drinking, asking women to come back to the hotel with him, and again saying he got a wife on this end and he got a boyfriend on this end. So I guess Michael with the fluidity type of situation. Does Ashley know this and she's not bothered because she's getting paid? Or does she not know this and this is about to be some good tea? Y'all let me know. So once Candice has this information, she sprints off to tell Giselle. And I was like, why would you tell Miss Messy this type of information when y'all are just getting back on good terms? She just put you on her invisible wedding list. And so you bring her some tea on somebody else that also you had just made up with, because you and Ashley only made up a couple episodes ago. So I don't know why she would tell Giselle. But Giselle tells her it's better to just rip the band-aid and put the information out there than to let it linger that you know it. So Giselle suggests she says it at dinner. And I don't know if this is a good idea. I feel like if Giselle wasn't as messy as she is, she would have suggested that Candice take Ashley to the side and said, look, Invader, this is not directly from me, but this is the information that I have. Do what you will. I feel like that's the more mature way, Giselle, not to bring it up at a table in front of the cameras where she could be embarrassed. So all the girls get dressed up in their finest to go to a middle of nowhere BFE crab shack and have a crab dinner. Now I'm not gonna lie, that crab and no seafood that was on that menu looked good, but I think I would have been in jeans, some like little loafers, little tennis shoes, nice little button up maybe, and I would have called it a day. But that's just me. So while they're having dinner, Monique invites all the girls to come to her live podcast taping. And I don't know what Monique's podcast is about. I would probably say it's about how she feels her life is so overwhelming with her paid help, and that her husband does his own thing, and that T'Challa is around. But she invites the girls. At dinner, Ashley also learns that she's been sucking up some crab poop all this time. She said she thought the yellow part was mustard. And I'm like, even if your mom told you that yellow part was mustard, you are a grown ass woman, Invader. How did you still think that that was the case? You think mustard just happens organically? It just is organic through animals? Come on, girl. So they're just having a dinner. Not much is going on. They're all just talking about how basically all their husbands are trash and they kind of just deal with it, whatever. They talk about how the dudes can't do nothing, can't take care of the kids, can't keep up with nothing without them around. And I'm like, I love the money that they got. I love the privilege that they have, their lifestyle that they have. But if I had to deal with a dude just not knowing, you know, how to use both of his opposable thumbs at the same time without me, or oh, I can't do basic taking care of baby stuff, I don't know, that I might get tired of that. I don't know if it's worth the coins. It might be worth the coins. I don't know though. I don't know. It's a lot. So as they're eating, Monique just checks in with Ashley and she asks Ashley about how Michael's business night / dinner was. Ashley just keeps it casual and say, oh, he had a fun night, you know, he partied it up, but that's about it as far as she knows. Candice over there looking like she got the BGs and she about to spill her guts with this tea about Michael. And the episode ends on a to be continued. So that was the end. This episode was alright. It wasn't alright. It was dry. I felt like Bravo is messing with me. I thought they were really gonna get into the Michael and his mess stuff in the episode, but I should have known. I should have known. I've watched Real Housewives of Atlanta, and I know they will drag out one storyline until they have dried up every drip drop of it. So hopefully on this next episode they really break down what's going on with Michael and not like continue to string this along. But otherwise the episode was alright. The girls kind of bonding together. The guys will be coming on the next day to round up the Lakehouse trip, so we'll see how it goes with all the men around and who shows up and who doesn't. So that's it for me. Tell me what you thought about this episode. Do you feel like it was another filler episode? Do you feel that Candice should not have gone to Giselle with this information? Or do you feel that this really isn't tea and Ashley and Michael have an understanding and she just doesn't let on that she already know about his stripper situation or the boyfriend on the side, allegedly. Or she just is like, as long as the funds are coming, we're good over here. Let me know what you think in the comments below. But on that note, I'm gonna head out, and I will see you all for the next episode. And I want you to remember, before we take off, always stay classy.